General Hospital spoilers reveal that Willow Tate may be headed to Shady Brook. Will Willow's psychological evaluation lead to mental health support for the overwhelmed mom now that she's lost custody? Willow had quite the emotional moment in the courtroom after Judge Eva Heron ruled in Michael&Willow's favor. It seems Willow hadn't fully processed the consequences if her plan with Drew Kane didn't work out. Willow lost custody since Michael was awarded full custody of Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos. Being a mother has been a huge part of Willow's identity in recent years, so it's understandable why she feels like her world has fallen apart. That said, Willow made difficult choices by putting Drew above her own children and risking a lot for someone who wasn't the right fit for her family. Following Judge Heron's decision, Willow fainted and later appeared very withdrawn as she was taken to the hospital. Elizabeth Baldwin mentioned that there'd be a psychological consultation, so Willow's mental health could become a bigger part of the storyline. Willow might be headed to Shady Brook or another mental health facility if the show's writers want to explore that. Of course, there's also a possibility her story could take other directions. There's no telling how Willow will move forward now that she's lost custody and is clearly struggling. Whatever happens, Willow isn't doing well after Michael's custody win. That intense courtroom scene was one many GH viewers won't forget. There's a chance Willow's evaluation will lead to her receiving additional care, so stay tuned for updates on her mental health status. General Hospital spoilers say Willow will have a lot to figure out going forward. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. Let's dive into today's video. Welcome to the General Hospital Daily YAPP, a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or surprising moments in today's episode. Let's get to it. Apparently, nobody ever told Willow Tate that she can't just do whatever she wants whenever she wants without consequences. She thought that as long as she appeared sweet, prim, and proper, nobody could see her flaws. However, the judge saw right through her and pointed out issues with her parenting skills in that formal judicial way that was both sharp and eye-opening. While that was satisfying, what happened next was even more compelling. It's been clear since the day Willow decided not to pursue treatment for her cancer that she has been struggling, but today's episode made that very evident. We knew Willow would be upset about losing custody, but her reaction was intense, making for great drama and everything we hoped for in this storyline about a woman who needed a wake-up call after the choices she made over the last year. Willow hadn't imagined this outcome, but after her difficult decisions and misunderstandings, this was a turning point that needed to happen. Maybe Willow can now spend some time at Shady Brook, where she once found support after escaping a troubling situation during her pregnancy. It's interesting that Diane was her lawyer back then. It all comes full circle for Willow, doesn't it? Want more details? We've got you covered. Soap Central has the best full GH recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read every episode summary. If you can't wait for the next episode, we also have daily spoilers. And whatever you do this weekend, don't forget to check out the 2 Scoops for some laughs. It's the closest thing to a watch party without actually watching the show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to hear from you. As always, share your thoughts below. Here are your General Hospital spoilers for Friday, June 13, 2025. Now that Willow has lost custody of her children, we return to Brooke Lynn and her adult child. Brooke Lynn is still determined to carry out her plan, and Tracy tries to reason with her, but Brooke Lynn remains focused on seeking justice in a way she feels is right. As Brooke Lynn makes her plans, Maxie tries to act as a peacemaker between her 2 best friends. She visits Lulu and attempts to talk to her about the ongoing conflict with Brooke Lynn. Lulu insists she hasn't done anything wrong. Will Maxie help her understand the situation differently? Meanwhile, Chase and Dante are having a disagreement. They have been close friends and partners for years, but Dante is struggling to move past Chase, keeping an important secret from him. Sonny shares with Jason what he learned from his conversation with Natalia. It turns out Sonny wasn't as careful as everyone thought, and Natalia has some evidence about his questionable activities. Jason advises Sonny to step back and protect himself. At the Davis and Miller law firm, Natalia finally finds her son for support, but is surprised when Marco asks her if she has any proof regarding Sonny Corinthos. Marco also faces an unexpected reaction on Friday. Does his mother's response catch him off guard? Drew remains confused about how Willow lost custody of her children, especially after a surprising moment during the custody hearing. Nana has now asked him to keep his distance from her daughter. As Drew reflects on what went wrong, he talks with Marty and wonders if Willow might be better off without him. Is this a moment of self-reflection for Drew? Perhaps the judge's decision will serve as a turning point for both Drew and Willow. Spoilers reveal that Michael Corinthos and Willow Corinthos' relationship is at a crossroads, leaving many fans curious about what the future holds. Will Michael and Willow find their way back to each other, or is their relationship over? Despite the tension from the custody battle, Willow and Michael shared a heartfelt moment at the hospital with the kids. It was touching to see Michael, Willow, Wiley Corinthos, and Amelia Corinthos together, looking like a family as they watched little Daisy Gilmore Corinthos through the window. Drew interrupted their progress afterward, highlighting the challenges in the situation. Willow has found herself caught up in new influences, struggling to see Drew clearly and often believing him over others. However, there may come a time when Willow realizes the truth about Drew. Drew won't be able to maintain his friendly facade forever given his actions behind the scenes. After Willow uncovers some secrets about Nina Reeves, including her past connections with Drew, she may distance herself from her mother as well. Fans can expect to see a vulnerable Willow in the future who might come to understand her mistakes and try to rebuild her family with Michael. It's easy to imagine Willow making sincere efforts to regain her role as a mother and perhaps as a partner. Willow may decide to take responsibility and work hard to repair what she disrupted by putting Drew first. However, it might be too late for that, as Michael and Sasha Gilmore Corbin are becoming the couple many fans support. The show has been highlighting Sasha and Michael's chemistry, especially with their new baby bond. Still, Willow might hold onto some hope for reconciliation with Michael. While Michael may decide to move on, there's always a chance they could find love again in the future. Soap storylines often bring couples back together, especially when children are involved. General Hospital is also bringing some familiar faces back for longtime viewers. It was first reported on Erica Slezak's website that the beloved fan favorite, who played Vicky on One Life to Live from 1971 to 2012, is joining General Hospital for a short-term role. Erica shared her excitement about working again with executive producer Frank Valentini and the cast, though details about her character and appearance dates are still under wraps. Executive producer Frank Valentini confirmed on X, "I am thrilled to confirm that my dear friend and former One Life to Live colleague Erica Slezak will appear this fall. Stay tuned as we prepare to introduce another daytime legend to Port Charles." Valentini, Olateo's former executive producer and now GA's EP, has a few options for bringing Slezak onto the canvas. She could be reprising her role as Vicky, who might be visiting Port Charles for a routine checkup or to consult with a specialist. Alternatively, she could be seeking support for personal challenges. We've seen other characters from Landview, Olateo's setting, appear on GH. Hilary B. Smith, Cassie DePava, and Michael Easton have all crossed over as their Olateo characters. Aline Kristen reprised her role as Delia from Ryan's Hope on GH, when it was revealed that Delia is Ava's mother. Another option is to have Slezak play a new character. Actors from former ABC serials All My Children and Ola TL have taken on new roles on General Hospital. Easton has played several characters, most recently Dr. Hamilton Finn. Cameron Matheson is known to GH fans as Drew Kane, and Michael E. Knight plays G.Ace Martin. Slezak is one of soap opera's most revered and respected actresses. She holds the record for the most Daytime Emmy wins in the category of Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series. Viewers would be excited to see Slezak reunited on General Hospital with her former TV son Chris McKenna, who played Ola TL's Joey from 1990 to 1993. Today, McKenna plays GA's Jack Brennan. Slezak reprised her role as Vicky on the 2014 online revival of Ola TL. Her other credits include Blue Bloods, Next Stop, Christmas, The Resident, and Full Circle. In 2020, Slezak appeared as herself in the ABC documentary, The Story of Soaps. General Hospital spoilers for Friday, June 13, reveal that we'll see some tense moments and reconsiderations. There will also be important developments involving Sonny Corinthos, while Maxie Jones faces a challenging situation. Here's what to expect on Friday's eventful GH episode. Tracy Quartermaine will hope she's convinced Brooklyn Quartermaine to ease up on Lulu Spencer, but Brooklyn plans to continue with her course of action. Tracy will also interact with Alexis Davis, who will have to address a new challenge based on Tracy's request. At the PCPD, Harrison Chase and Dante Falconeri will find it difficult to work together because of recent complications. Brooklyn's closely guarded secret wasn't Chase's to share, but Dante still has unresolved feelings toward him, which will intensify on Friday's show. Next, Maxie will try to encourage peace between Lulu and Brooklyn, though it won't be easy since Lulu doesn't accept blame for the tension. It's true Lulu could have handled things differently, especially regarding Giovanni Gio Palmieri's family situation, but she believes it's important for everyone involved to know the truth about Gio's background. Maxie will push Lulu to consider Brooklyn and Dante's perspectives now that things have come to a head. Meanwhile, Marco Rios will be concerned over Natalia Ramirez's recent legal troubles and the possibility she could face serious consequences. As Marco supports Natalia, he'll seek any information that could help their cause. Even if Natalia reveals some financial irregularities at Deception, she's hoping Sonny will help address their mutual challenges. Natalia wants to preserve her friendship with Sonny and avoid conflict, but Marco believes taking action may be necessary. Over with Jason Morgan, he'll get updates on Sonny's current difficulties and try to find a way to help. It will be important for Sonny to manage the situation carefully. Meanwhile, Anna Devane will reflect on the past and might question ADA Justine Turner to gather more insight. If Anna suspects ADA Turner has new information about Sonny, she'll want to learn more. At the hospital, Drew Kane will take time for self-reflection and have second thoughts about his relationship with Willow Tate. Now that Willow has lost Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos, Drew will wonder if she might be better off focusing on herself. However, Drew's self-reflection may be brief, especially if he starts to suspect Michael Corinthos had some unexpected assistance. Since Cameron Matheson mentioned on Instagram that someone influenced the judge regarding Michael's case, Drew might put the pieces together soon. Here's the General Hospital recap of what happened in Port Charles today, Thursday, June 12, 2025. Michael, Carly, and Jason met Diane outside the courtroom. Diane was concerned that having a baby with Sasha might affect Michael's case. Inside the courtroom, Drew remained confident, but Rick cautioned that the judge might decide on joint custody. Willow told Minna she no longer wanted joint custody. As they entered the courtroom, Michael asked Jason if the jet was ready in case the ruling didn't go his way. Jason assured him that he and the kids would be on the plane before anyone noticed they had left. The rulings were in. First, the judge finalized the divorce of Michael and Willow and then divided their assets. Finally, it was time to decide custody of Wiley Allen and Amelia Grace Corinthos. The judge explained that her main concern was the children's well-being and who would best support their needs. Before announcing custody, the judge reviewed Willow's actions since December 16, 2024, while the children were in her sole care. She had moved the children several times, traveled across state lines with Wiley without informing his father, and allowed him to stay overnight in a hotel room with her and Congressman Kane. She also did not encourage contact between the children and Michael after his serious injury. Additionally, she filed legal paperwork to grant guardianship to Congressman Kane and overlooked Michael's custodial rights. The judge stated that Willow had shown a consistent pattern of neglect toward her children's emotional well-being, often disregarding legal procedures. Ultimately, full physical and legal custody was awarded to Michael. Willow appeared confused and shocked before becoming very upset. When she understood the decision, she stood, pleading with the judge not to take her children. She expressed disbelief and argued that Michael had been unfaithful and had a baby with Sasha, while all she did was care for her children and try to do what was best for them. She insisted the decision was unfair and approached Michael, begging him to tell the judge she had made a mistake. Diane told Michael they needed to leave as Willow continued to plead, saying the kids needed their mother. Crying, Willow leaned on Nina for support. Nina helped her to a chair where she sat quietly, wanting to see Wiley and Amelia to tell them how much she cared. As Drew and Nina helped her to leave, she looked at Drew and said, "You said I would win." Before she could say more, she fainted into Drew's arms. Outside the courtroom, Michael, Diane, Carly, and Jason were stunned by what had just happened. Though it was difficult to see Willow so upset, Diane and Jason felt it confirmed that the judge made the right call. Visibly shaken, Michael wanted to leave to be with the children. At the hospital, Elizabeth thanked Laura for meeting her. Concerned, Elizabeth said she understood why Laura might be upset with her for Lucky leaving. Laura didn't blame her and instead praised Elizabeth for making the right decision. Laura wanted Lucky to be happy and true to himself, so she was grateful to Elizabeth. They caught up for a while, and Laura invited Elizabeth over for dinner. When Laura mentioned Martin, Elizabeth shared that he had approached her looking for clients and encouraged her to consider legal action against the car company involved in her accident. Laura asked if she was thinking about it, but Elizabeth said she wasn't interested. After Willow fainted in the courtroom, Drew and Nina brought her to the hospital. Willow was barely responsive in a wheelchair when Elizabeth took her to a room. Drew was still in disbelief over the outcome. Nina expressed her frustration to him, saying, "My daughter lost her children because she did everything you asked after your affair began." In the court's view, that made her a poor choice for custody. Elizabeth reassured Nina and Drew that Willow's vital signs were stable and that she was likely just in shock. She said they also called for a psychological consult, which seemed to surprise Drew, who asked if they thought she was having a breakdown or something. When Rick came to the hospital to check on Willow, he spoke to Elizabeth at the nurse's desk. Seeming somber and regretful, he told Elizabeth that, even though he hated losing any time, he had never felt so upset about a situation before. Elizabeth offered Rick some comfort. In a protective tone, Nina confronted Drew. She told him that if he wanted to help, he needed to go home, and that he was the last person Willow needs right now. "You don't understand, do you?" she said. "You've hurt her deeply. If you truly care for Willow as much as you say, you'll step back and give her space." Drew remained calm despite Nina's words. Willow woke up in her hospital bed, hearing the judge's ruling repeat in her mind. Michael, Jason, and Carly returned to Carly's house. She wanted to make sure Michael was okay and acknowledged how difficult it was to see Willow go through such a challenging time. Michael reflected on how things had changed so drastically. He felt sadness, but struggled to reconcile the Willow he once knew with the situation today. Carly hoped this would be a wake-up call for Willow, so she could work toward rebuilding her relationship with her children. Carly and Jason discussed the impact of recent events and agreed it would be a difficult period, but ultimately better for everyone involved. Jason commented, "Drew influenced her in the wrong way, and now she's facing the results. This has caused a lot of strain on Michael's family and Willow. The responsibility lies with Drew." Michael went outside to talk to Willie about the separation and explained that it might be a while before he saw his mom. He reassured Willie that his mom loved him very much and would be with him as soon as she could. Cody went to the gallery to see Ava. He brought her the sunglasses she left at the pool. Ava was a bit curious about how he found her, but he explained that everyone knew Ava Jerome. She acknowledged that he might have heard some negative things about her, but Cody said he preferred to form his own opinions, especially since his own reputation wasn't perfect either. Cody said he was interested in art, but didn't know much about it. Ava offered to talk to him about it anytime, even then. She explained one of the pieces in the gallery. Cody played coy and curious, but eager to learn. He thanked Ava for not judging him, saying he was worried she might think he was uninterested or unrefined. Ava said she liked a challenge, and he agreed. Before leaving, Ava invited Cody to an upcoming art show. He thanked her for the crash course in art appreciation. Later, Ava left a message for Rick and then picked up some glasses, clearly thinking about Cody. Christina visited Alexis at her law office. Alexis was concerned something else had happened, but Christina said she had a plan to handle their situation with Ava. She shared her idea of hiring someone to get close to Ava, hoping to create distance between Ava and Rick. Alexis asked, "Did you hire someone for this purpose?" Christina told her she hired Cody. Alexis was skeptical, but Christina was confident. She also wanted to encourage Rick to spend more time with Elizabeth, to which Alexis replied, "You can't push Rick on Elizabeth. She doesn't deserve that kind of pressure." After hearing Christina's plan, Alexis said, "I think you haven't learned from your past mistakes." She cautioned that acting first without thinking things through was what got them into trouble before. Alexis warned that many things would have to go exactly right for the plan to work. Christina remained confident, though Alexis preferred to wait for a better opportunity. Laura called Alexis and asked her to stop by her office to discuss something important. Cody met Christina at the law office. He told her he had completed his initial efforts and she owed him $1,000. He felt he could manage the task but wanted to know how far she expected him to go. Christina said whatever was necessary to create distance between Ava and Rick. Having researched Ava, Cody expressed serious concerns. "I knew she wasn't perfect, but I didn't realize how complicated she was. There's a lot about her past that's intense." Christina responded, "Well, if it helps, some of it was misunderstandings." Cody said, "It doesn't really help. Some of it was definitely deliberate. Look, Ava's very attractive, but you're asking me to convince someone with a difficult past. If you want me to be the partner to her, then I'm going to need some extra motivation." Laura asked Alexis to come to her office to discuss Martin and Elizabeth. She shared her conversation with Elizabeth about Martin, encouraging her to consider taking legal action against the car company over the accident. Even though Elizabeth was hesitant to pursue a lawsuit, Laura wanted to know if she had a strong case. If so, she would encourage her to proceed. Alexis told Laura that the car was already totaled. Laura asked her to think it over because she trusted her to provide an honest and objective opinion. Alexis said she would review everything. Sonny met Natalia in her car in the parking lot. She immediately warned, "I'm in serious trouble and so are you." Natalia explained her recent DUI arrest after leaving the Metro Court pool. Feeling ashamed, she also admitted that it wasn't her first offense, and she was facing serious legal consequences. Her only hope was to cooperate with Ada Turner, who wanted information about Sunny from her. At first, Sunny didn't think Natalia had anything that would cause problems for him, but she said she did, and it could lead to a lengthy investigation. Through careful review, she had information about Sunny's financial records. She said it didn't take long to find inconsistencies. Even without full details, it would be enough for Ada Turner to open an inquiry. For a moment, Sunny thought she was trying to pressure him, but she assured him that wasn't the case. She reminded him that he trusted her, and they were friends before he found out about Sidwell, and she came to him so he could protect himself and hopefully help her as well. In the end, Sunny agreed to help and assured her he would handle everything. Natalia thanked him and felt relieved because she had been feeling trapped and isolated. She told him he was a lifesaver and gave him a grateful hug. It's been a challenging few days at Michael and Willow's divorce hearing on General Hospital, but after Willow took the stand to give her testimony, the hearing concluded. On the June 12 episode of GH, Judge Heron delivered her verdict, changing Michael and Willow's lives forever. After receiving a notification from the judge's chambers that the verdict was in, Michael, Carly, and Jason arrived at the courthouse. They were met in the hallway by an impatient Diane, who expressed frustration for their delay. Michael explained that he'd been at the park with the kids and had to bring them home first. Carly wondered if they should be concerned that the judge made a decision so quickly. Diane said she wasn't sure what it meant, but when Jason pressed her for her instinct about the verdict, Diane looked Michael in the eye and said honestly, "All right, I'm not judging, but the woman with whom you had a complicated relationship gave birth to your baby during your custody hearing. That's not ideal." Meanwhile, inside the courtroom, an optimistic Drew told Willow, Nina, and Rick that the judge's quick decision had to be a positive sign that full custody of the children would be awarded to Willow. Rick, however, pointed out that shared custody could be an option, and Willow remarked that would be less than ideal since things were already so tense between her and Michael, as when she saw him at the park with the kids. Rick was concerned about their encounter, but Willow explained they barely had a chance to talk before being called back to the courthouse. Just then, Michael entered the room with his supporters. His thoughts turned to a plan to take the kids out of town if the judge ruled in Willow's favor. Placing his hand on Jason's shoulder, Michael asked, "Is the jet ready in case things don't go my way?" Without hesitation, Jason promised, "You and the kids will be on the way before anybody even realizes you're gone." Judge Heron granted the divorce between Michael and Willow. Everyone in the courtroom was tense as the judge declared the marriage dissolved and ruled on the distribution of their shared property. Finally, Judge Heron addressed the matter of utmost importance in the proceedings: determining custody of Wiley Allen and Amelia Grace, noting that many factors must be considered when determining custody for young children. The judge stated that it ultimately comes down to which parent is better suited to provide a safe and secure environment and prioritize the children's welfare and best interests. As Heron reviewed Willow's challenges, Rick looked concerned and Willow appeared worried. Finally, Judge Heron declared, "Mrs. Corinthos has demonstrated a consistent pattern of neglect regarding her children's emotional well-being, often failing to meet legal standards in the process," the judge explained. She added that Michael, having fully recovered and capable, was well positioned to care for Wiley and Amelia with the support of his family. Therefore, this court decides to award full physical and legal custody to the children's father, Michael Corinthos, ruled Judge Heron. Confused, Willow turned to Rick. "I don't understand," she said quietly. "What's happening?" "You lost, Willow," her attorney gently replied. Refusing to accept the decision, an upset Willow stood and pleaded with the judge. "Please reconsider," she said, her voice shaking. "They're my children. They belong with me." Despite Rick's attempts to calm her, Willow grew more distressed, especially after Judge Heron stated that a visitation schedule would be arranged following evaluations by a mental health professional. Willow became visibly overwhelmed. "Rick, please do something," she asked desperately, her voice trembling. "This isn't right." Judge Heron advised Rick to help his client regain composure, but Willow remained upset. "Michael made choices that changed everything," she said quietly. "I've always loved my children and tried to do what's best for them." She looked toward the judge and said firmly, "This isn't fair." The judge then ended the hearing and asked the bailiff to clear the courtroom. Still refusing to accept the outcome, Willow approached Michael's table. As Carly, Jason, Diane, Nina, Drew, and Rick watched, Willow tearfully asked Michael to reconsider. "They need me. I'm their mother," she said. Michael quietly turned and left the courtroom. Nina tried to comfort her daughter, but Willow became more emotional. "What's happening?" she sobbed, holding Nina tightly. "They can't separate me from my children." Drew looked toward the door Michael had exited, a serious expression on his face. Diane, Carly, Jason, and Michael gathered in the hallway. Carly asked Michael if he was okay after the difficult interaction. "I wanted full custody," Michael admitted, but seeing Willow so upset, that pain in her voice, it was hard. Diane shared that she felt sympathy for Willow, but believed her reaction in court supported the judge's decision. Drew and Nina took Willow to the hospital to be checked. Elizabeth helped Willow to an exam room for evaluation. Drew called the verdict unfair and said he didn't understand the outcome. "Didn't you hear the judge's reasoning?" Nina said firmly. Willow lost custody because the court felt she wasn't able to provide the stability needed. "It's not about blame, it's about what's best for the children." Later, Liz updated Drew and Nina. Willow was physically fine but in shock. The staff recommended a psychological consultation. "Why?" Drew asked, concerned. "Do you think she's experiencing emotional distress?" "We can't be sure," Liz replied. Nina looked worried. Back at his mother's home, Michael thought about the Willow he had known, the caring mother who had been so devoted to Wiley and Amelia. "It's hard to understand how things changed so much," he said quietly. Carly agreed, hoping this experience might encourage Willow to focus on healing and rebuilding her relationship with the children in the future. For now, Michael sighed, "I need to figure out how to explain to the kids why they won't be seeing their mom for a while." At Carly's house, she and Jason discussed the situation, placing responsibility on Drew for the difficulties that arose. Drew's actions disrupted the family, Jason said. "It's affected both Michael and Willow deeply. This is a tough situation for everyone." Out on the patio, Michael had a sincere conversation with Wiley, explaining that he and Willow had decided to separate and that Wiley and Amelia would be living with him. "But what about Mommy?" Wiley asked with concern. Michael explained that for now, it would just be the three of them, but he assured Wiley that his mommy loved both him and Amelia very much. "And as soon as she can come visit, she will, okay?" He gently hugged Wiley. When Rick arrived at the hospital to check on Willow, Liz reminded him that privacy laws prevented her from sharing specific patient information. However, they did discuss the trial's outcome, and Liz offered her ex-husband comfort by reaching out to hold his hand across the nurse's station desk when Rick revealed how deeply affected he was by what happened in the courtroom. "This one really hit me differently," he said with a heavy sigh. Liz reassured him that she knew he had done everything he could. He appreciated her words but wished the case had concluded differently. Alone in her hospital room, Willow woke up, a look of shock on her face as she recalled the judge's decision. Port Charles, the fictional hub of General Hospital, is no stranger to complex situations, but recent events have pushed the town's residents to their emotional limits. A challenging custody case involving two young children, Wiley and Amelia, has reached a significant turning point, revealing surprising details that have left the community stunned. Meanwhile, rumors of secretive agendas swirl around a young woman's pursuit of a mysterious professor, adding a layer of intrigue to this already complex story. These interconnected narratives of family, trust, and hidden motives have captivated audiences, offering a compelling mix of emotion and suspense. At the center of the drama is a pivotal courtroom battle between Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate, both advocating for the custody of Wiley and Amelia. The legal process has been intense, with emotions running high and relationships tested by the pressure. Michael, a devoted father, has been supported by his mother, Carly Spencer, who believes strongly that he is the best parent to provide a stable, loving home for the children. In contrast, Willow's partnership with Drew Kane has been portrayed as unpredictable and challenging, raising questions about their ability to provide a nurturing environment. Carly, determined to help Michael succeed, enlisted the assistance of tech specialist Damian Spinelli to gather information that might influence the court's decision. Spinelli, initially cautious about privacy concerns, agreed to help for the sake of the children's best interests. Using his technical skills, he reviewed security footage from Drew's home, carefully examining hours of recordings. What he discovered was concerning. Video showing a tense moment between Drew and his daughter, Scout, during a disagreement. The footage captured Scout's upset reaction and Drew's demeanor, a moment that became important in the case. In court, Carly presented this evidence, drawing attention as the video played. The room fell silent as Willow watched, her trust shaken. The judge, visibly thoughtful, acknowledged that while parenting approaches differ, the emotional impact on Scout was clear. After taking time to review the information, the judge made a firm ruling. Michael would receive full custody of Wiley and Amelia, while Drew and Willow were granted supervised visitation, with the situation to be reviewed further. The decision prompted a variety of reactions. Michael felt relieved yet emotionally exhausted, holding his children close as they adjusted to their new living arrangement. Willow, saddened by the outcome and feeling conflicted about her decisions, retreated inward to reflect. Drew, upset and frustrated, expressed his disappointment toward Carly and Spinelli, accusing them of overstepping boundaries and hinting at possible further actions. Carly, confident in her position, reminded him that the circumstances had brought the scrutiny. For the people of Port Charles, the custody case was a reminder that even those who appear strong may face difficult challenges beneath the surface. While the custody matter dominated attention, another storyline has been quietly unfolding. Emma Scorpio Drake, a young woman connected to Port Charles' medical community, has drawn notice for her determined interest in Professor Henry Hank Dalton, an unconventional academic believed to be working on advanced research related to human biology. On the surface, Emma's concern seems focused on ethical questions around animal research in Dalton's lab, but her thoughtful approach and deliberate interactions with the professor suggest there may be more to her intentions. Speculation is growing that Emma may be working as a covert agent for the DVX, a secretive organization known for its complicated history in Port Charles. Her friendly interaction with Dalton at the Metro Court pool, observed by onlookers, suggested a possible plan to learn more about his confidential projects. Meanwhile, her grandmother, Anna Devane, a seasoned intelligence expert herself, becomes increasingly cautious about Dalton's intentions, motivated by a strong desire to keep Emma safe. Anna's instincts, sharpened by years of experience in sensitive operations, suggest that Emma might already be involved in a complex situation involving international interests. Parallel to Emma's story, Jocelyn Jacks, a dedicated agent for the World Security Bureau, is on a mission to uncover the true nature of Dalton's research. Her investigation has revealed that Dalton has been visiting the General Hospital lab, raising questions about how his academic work might intersect with medical studies. The cautious dynamic between Jocelyn and Emma adds depth to the unfolding story, as both women navigate a world where trust is hard to come by. The stakes are high, with Dalton's rumored technology drawing the attention of both the WSB and the DVX. While the WSB hopes to apply the technology for humanitarian purposes, such as advancing organ donation through cloned tissues, the DVX may have other, less transparent goals. Caught in the middle, Emma's true intentions remain uncertain, leaving residents of Port Charles and viewers wondering if she is a concerned advocate or a participant in a high-stakes situation. Beyond the intrigue and investigation, Willow Tate and Drew Kane have become some of the most debated figures in Port Charles. Their relationship, marked by misunderstandings and poor decisions, has sparked strong reactions from fans. Social media is buzzing with criticism, with many concerned about how their personal issues affect their family responsibilities. One viewer commented, "I'm upset about how they're handling their family. Their relationship doesn't convince me." Drew, in particular, has drawn criticism for the influence he seems to have over Willow, with fans noting how this dynamic leads to repeated mistakes. Willow's ongoing difficulty in stepping away has frustrated many viewers who feel she shares responsibility for their troubles. Still, some appreciate the dramatic energy their story brings to the show and look forward to a turning point that could reveal Drew's true intentions, possibly involving a controversy linked to a charity they support. Looking ahead, Willow and Drew face growing challenges as their decisions impact the community. A possible custody dispute, driven by Michael's efforts to support his family, could bring further issues to light. Meanwhile, other characters in Port Charles, like Nina Reeves, may take advantage of the situation for their own interests. The couple's isolation is increasing as their support network shrinks, painting a picture of two individuals facing serious difficulties. Recent events in Port Charles have left a lasting impact on its residents, emphasizing how fragile trust can be and the effects of hidden issues. The custody proceedings, with their surprising disclosures, highlight the importance of focusing on children's well-being above all else. Carly's strong commitment to her son and Spinelli's expertise proved pivotal, though relationships remain strained. Meanwhile, Emma's mysterious involvement with Dalton and the emerging discussions around human cloning technology serve as reminders that Port Charles is a place where secrets are rarely kept for long. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.